Hello everyone and welcome to the Manc Podcast, a very Manchester podcast brought to you and made by people from Manchester. Thank you very much for listening or watching, whatever you're doing. We are here for the next half an hour, 45 minutes to chat about Manchester and to chat with our very, very special guest, Sarah Lomas. How you doing, Sarah? You all right?
Yep, very good.
Sarah, we've got Steph here as well. Tim's over there.
Hello.
I'm Joe, and we have got a lot coming up, including Mastermind, Snack of the Week, and Steph, what would you call this segment? Which is my favourite and the most controversial. But first, Sarah, I think as being our special guest, we'll just get a chat with you, introduce people to yourself and what you do. I can tell everyone that you are the CEO of REVIV. And how long have you been doing that for? How long have you been the CEO? It sounds cool.
15th of July 2014 to be exact.
15th 2014. I mentioned to you before that one of my first questions was going to be, say that we met at a pie.
Yep.
Right.
Well, we won't be doing that right now.
Not right now, in the future. What are you drinking?
Gin and tonic.
What are you drinking?
Good choice, gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic? Are you drinking?
I was going to say gin and tonic, but I'll say
Gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
What would you really be drinking?
A gin and tonic.
Right. Okay.
So we're all drinking gin and tonic.
Yeah, that's great.
And we bump into Sarah, and we just, for the first time, Sarah, how do you describe what you do?
Well, it depends what type of party I'm at, first and foremost. Secondly, I probably wouldn't actually speak to you because I'm very shy and I'll be the one in the corner at the party. But if we did, I would tell you that I am responsible for changing people's lives all over the world. And normally that then ends up being a 2 or 3 or 4 hour conversation. Wow. But, I see that as my role.
Wow.
That is,
amazing.
Amazing, and I make a podcast. It's lovely to meet you, Sarah. that sort of changed people's lives. I mean, if people don't know, REVIV is that. So how did that come about? So the company REVIV, and what is it?
Ultimately, forget REVIV for a minute.
Yeah.
What's happening in the world today? We're in the middle of a pandemic, and I would say for the last 20 years, there's really been, a new type of person that understands that prevention is better than cure. Mm-hmm. And, you see it every day. There's more people running. There's more fitness apps. There's people looking after themselves better from a food perspective. And that's because ultimately people realise that if you take better care of themselves, then they avoid, serious illnesses, diseases, disorders, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
I had a career in banking, not the most interesting thing in the world, but what it did do for me is, enable me to travel the world and work in lots of countries. My last role, I was responsible for 22 countries. So after 25, 26 years, I felt I had enough skills to do something that could really make a difference. Wow. And I believed that I could build a global brand, I could change people's lives, and I had absolutely no idea how I was going to do that.
So you had the goal was there, you were going to reach for the moon, but you just didn't
know
how you'd get there.
Absolutely zero idea. So I travelled, I saved 1 year's salary. I gave up an incredible job that gave me an incredible lifestyle, but I believed that I could do this, and I had no idea. What I did know was, from a business perspective, what the growing markets were. I could see that wellness and preventative health, but I'm not a doctor. I didn't have the qualifications to know what to do. So I went searching. I was looking at different ideas. I was looking at whether I could build a company. I actually invested in a tech company in San Francisco, which had nothing to do, of course, with wellness and preventative health. But I was just finding my way. Yeah. And I went to a tech convention in Las Vegas. I was walking through the hotel and I saw this sign that said REVIV with a picture of an IV. And right there and then, I just thought, this is really cool. I'd been reading about it. I knew through trend watchers that it was a growing trend in the US and Japan. Mm-hmm. I knew it was wellness and preventative health. But right there and then, in all honesty, I was just like, will this make a difference to me?
Yeah.
So I was with some friends. I was actually with my sister. I said, let's go right now. Let's have this IV.
Yeah.
She was saying, actually, she had an iPad. Why she would be carrying an iPad?
Did your sister come with you for a lot of the travelling? Did your sister
She
join
didn't
you?
actually. I have no idea why she was there then. And I have no idea why she was carrying an iPad around in the middle of a hotel, but she was.
Yeah.
And as I was heading to the clinic, she was Googling IV deaths, IV therapy, and she was behind me, and she was like,
God.
you know, we need to do some research. We know nothing about this. You know, you could die. And I'm like, come on, let's go.
Come on, let's take the risk.
Probably within 20 minutes, I entered this beautiful clinic. I was hooked up to an IV, and I don't remember much about that experience, but what I do remember is the following morning.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I'd travelled extensively. In 2011, I'd done 200 flights in 1 year.
Wow.
So I was flying every day almost. So I had this IV, and I've kept it on my Facebook, actually. The status that I wrote the next morning was that I feel like I'm 21 again.
Really?
And that's how I felt. And I was super excited. My sister was then running to the clinic. She'd done all of her research that night. She went. Anyway, long story short, the next emotion I had was fear. At this point, I'm not thinking this is the one. I'm thinking I'm fearful because I don't ever want to go back to feeling how I did before. So I was then Googling, where can I get this in London? Actually, I lived in the Netherlands and in Amsterdam at the time.
Yeah.
But where can I get this in London, in the Netherlands? And actually, the reality is I couldn't.
Right.
I let it go, and I travelled back. And probably every morning I woke up and my gut feeling told me that if this has changed my life, and I was not unwell, by any means, then what is its potential across the world? And you know, the more I researched, the more I saw that this was a therapy that had been accessible for the last 40 years to the super elite, to the super rich. You know, they've been having IV therapies in their own homes for a long time. But you know, what about the average person? You know, what about Sarah when she was 21 and had no money? How could I get this? It was impossible. So I wanted to know more. So I went to the founders of REVIV, and I was fascinated. You know, these were 4 super passionate physicians in the US. One had done some project work for NASA in terms of the preventative health of the astronauts. The founder was Hong Kong born to Chinese medicine, really understanding balance from within. And, you know, it was almost Eastern philosophy of medicine and Western practice. It had come together, and they had a passion, but they'd opened their first clinic.
Right.
And the day I walked in was only the second day it had opened. And I thought, you know, I'm going to build this to be a global company. We're going to change lives across the world. So I approached the 4 founding doctors. You know, this Manchester girl rocked up, and they tell me now that they laughed and they thought I was absolutely crazy. Okay. You know, they'd achieved.
How did you rock up? Was it a meeting? Was it a phone call?
It was actually Zoom. It was Zoom, but I very, very quickly, so that they took me seriously, booked them tickets to come to Manchester. And they were like, Manchester? I'm like, yeah. And I remember the night. I remember the night that we actually signed the deal. I brought them over. I expected them, in all honesty, to be really quite boring doctors. So I booked a table at San Carlo.
Nice.
I rocked up in my suit, and they were there, like really trendy, really young and vibrant doctors. I was totally off the mark. And they're like, you know, is there anywhere we can go and party?
Where did you take them?
Okay. And I was just, the weather was terrible. It was throwing it down with rain. And we ended up in REVIV Cuba till about 4 a.m. And we were bringing all the trays of shots. I'm thinking, is this really happening? And we bonded. And, you know, the reality is I have no medical experience when I started this journey. But I had this incredible team of doctors and scientists that had already spent 3 years in research and development.
Nice.
So it was either going to be a match made in heaven or a match made in hell, because they would have to trust me. Of course, we went on, we set up a company together. I became the CEO. I placed all the investment capital, all of my savings to start the growth of the company.
Something you really believe in then.
And I believed in it. I believed in it because it worked for me.
Can I ask you, you said that you felt like you were 21. Was that like a energy thing or a hydration thing? That's what, how did you feel
when I
physically?
very first woke up that morning, when I used to wake up, I'd always wake up with a headache.
Yeah.
So I'd always wake up feeling fatigued, always wake up to the alarm, always wanted to snooze, 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 snooze.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I just sprung out of bed. And I said to my sister, it's the IV. And she's like, no, it's the hotels in Vegas. They pump oxygen into the room to keep you awake. And that could also be true. But of course, as the day went on, I was just full of energy. I had no headache. There was no fatigue there. And there's been points in my life since then where REVIV has really stepped in. I had COVID in March. I was very sick. And, in my view, I lived and breathed that. It brought me back. I was given touch and go 50-50 to live in 2017 after an operation went wrong and I developed sepsis and I had kidney failure, and actually IV therapy alone helped my body recover.
Can I just take it back to, if anyone's listening and don't understand the IV therapy, what is it? So you go and you got it, what actually happens?
So I think everybody will be familiar what happens in hospital. You'll have seen on television when somebody's rushed into accident and emergency, or they are going for an operation or they're recovering. You go into hospital, you are cannulated, and you are attached to a bag of fluid, a bag of saline, and there's a reason for that. The body needs to be hydrated to fight, to recover. If you think about it from that perspective. Hydration is absolutely critical for the body. So what REVIV did very well, and what the founding doctors did very well, was look at illnesses, diseases, disorders, look at general life actually, in terms of, I remember the first strapline for REVIV was REVIV gives back what life takes out. Ultimately we've developed a number of different infusions depending on the person, depending on their current conditions and health. And let me tell you, we have everything from royal families, high net worth, public figures across the world, performing artists, to our eldest client in our Manchester clinic is 81 years old, who suffers from arthritis. And what we've seen happen over the last 5 years is we just play this role, which is the gap between hospital and people that don't want to be fixed in hospital, and there's just no solution for them. So they turn into holistic.
It's amazing. Because Steph, you had first-hand experience with it.
I know, I went and had an IV drip, and I'll be honest, I had a little bit of a pep in my step. I was like, I had the Mega Boost option, which gives you more energy.
So Mega Boost, we do recovery and wellness. Mega Boost is wellness.
And I felt Mega Boosted.
Did you?
I did,
So explain it to us. So as someone who
was you afraid?
Sprinting home.
I was a little bit afraid because of needles and stuff, but I literally didn't feel a thing. Don't feel a thing, and then you're just chilling.
And Netflix was on as well.
Had Netflix on. I felt like royalty.
So these places, what do you call them? Not surgeries. What do you call where it happens?
We will call it a clinic, and it's very, very medical. Here in the UK, we were the first, and I believe still the only IV therapy clinic to be regulated by the Care Quality Commission. So that means our standards are to hospital standards, and that's a fine balance because you want somebody to come into your environment and feel. That they're in a beautiful environment and that there's this real wellness feel. But behind the scenes, it's a medical infrastructure like a hospital, in the way that we regulate, we prescribe, and we have delivered 1 million IVs across the world. And the reason we have done that successfully without any adverse events is the rigid medical screening and medical standards.
That's amazing. So with that, the journey you've been on and why we've got you on is because you're from Manchester, and it's just been, to be the CEO of a company who is changing lives. It is like an inspiration to get you here and chat to you. What do you think is the biggest thing you've learned then from the last 5 years? I know you might have learned medically, but is there anything you've learned about people, etc.?
Oh yeah, I've learned a lot about people. I've learned some fun facts, like some of the biggest high-profile celebrities in the world are probably far nicer than those a little bit further down. I've learned that absolutely privilege and wealth is leading to better health. But the biggest thing that I've learned, and it's quite sad actually, is that the level of education to everybody in the United Kingdom, and that's hard for me. I'm British, I'm proud to be British, I'm from Manchester, I'm proud to be from Manchester. If I look outside of the UK and I take the US, or I take the work that I do in Asia or South Africa, everybody is so much more educated and aware of what the steps are that they need to take for their own health, and they're prepared to take personal responsibility for that. And that makes me sad, it makes me angry. And I'm constantly looking at why is that? I don't have the answer, other than we just have a mentality that if we're sick, we get fixed. We go to a doctor or we go to a hospital and we get fixed. And maybe, you know, there's other factors there, but that's something that I've learned, is that, you know, some people are just not ready.
Yeah.
Do you think if we didn't have the NHS and it was that we were paying insurance and it was a lot more like, it, you know, it's going to cost you £1,000 or whatever it is to get in an ambulance, that we'd be a bit more serious about preventative healthcare and like being healthy overall.
Yeah, you know, I see it. But I also see more education in countries that are less fortunate. You know, one of our largest growth countries was South Africa. It was one of the first clinics outside of the US that we opened in Johannesburg. We grew very fast to Durban, then to Cape Town. And, you know, as a native African client base, which we were, you know, people were really educated in terms of hydration for their skin, for example, just suffering from dry skin. When we opened in Hong Kong, the population in Hong Kong are very, very aware that living in a city, and it's no different in Manchester, you go on your weather app and look at the air quality. But, you know, in Hong Kong, everybody's very educated that, yes, if you drink your water every day and you eat your fruit and vegetables, that's a baseline. But if you're living in toxicity and genetically, you know, you are somebody that can't clear those toxins, and you have, you know, a genetic predisposition for antioxidants, then you need some help. And that actually took REVIV into genetics in 2019. So we're really going through a process now of educating people on what is good for them and what's bad for them.
Yeah, I think we're going to move into a bit more of something that's is related to this podcast in terms of HELIX, and that has something to do with the disease that affected the world, really, and COVID took over it's coming to nearly a year since we went into lockdown first in March, which is worrying. But for you guys, how did that all develop, and what was it like being just seeing it unfold and being in the sort of medical profession and what REVIV can do?
Yeah, I mean, when COVID first started to happen, I had COVID. I was at a meeting in Texas. I contracted the virus and I was really sick. And at the same time, there was lockdowns happening all over the world. I think the great thing for REVIV is that I had already made the decision a year earlier that we were going to take what we had as our medical infrastructure across the world, all of our knowledge and science, and move into technology so that we could really make real life applications. So we had a CTO in the US, a chief technology officer, we had a development team, and we were already starting that journey focused on taking employees on preventative health journeys. So when COVID hit, I didn't immediately have the thought, but I got a phone call. We have a clinic in the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas, and they had 10,000 staff. And I jumped on a call with the board, and they were very, very quick. You know, these are casinos. These have a lot of employees.
10,000 staff.
Yeah, we're in MGM Hotel. They have 25,000 employees.
That's incredible.
You know, and you know, you imagine a casino. Imagine COVID in a casino.
Your
poker chips. You know,
chefs, bartenders.
Everything. Yeah, it's been huge operations. And you know, they were very.
Some people blow the dice, don't they?
Some people blow the dice and kiss the dice.
We've seen that.
You've got to blow on the dice. How else do you generate luck?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and they wanted to remain open, and absolutely so, but they needed to put infrastructures in place. We immediately supported them in performing 24-hour COVID testing for all the guests in Cosmopolitan. But their big challenge, and it's happening right now in the US, is litigation. And, you know, everybody sues everybody in the US. So if you come to work and you get COVID in your work environment, what's happening? There's a lawsuit. So, you know, US businesses have been far, far ahead of what I've seen in other places of managing that. So we sprung into action actually and said, actually, we will develop the application because we've got all of our teams in place. We're already, at step 5 of developing software that interacts between an employee and an employer from a preventative health perspective. So let's do this. Yeah, we will do it. We will make the investment. And we did. We invested £500,000 at the beginning of this year to finish the development so that we could give them a tool so that they had contact tracing within. I mean, what they were doing was impressive already, but it was very manual. So if an employee tested positive, casinos have huge camera infrastructures, of course, for the casino tables. So they would actually, they employed 100 people to look through all the video footage from the casino to see who that person has come in contact with.
Wow.
So, amazing. If you look at the innovations that are happening there. But yeah, we created HELIX for that reason. We see huge success in the US, but we're going to, of course, because they're super careful. Everybody's scared of that corporate manslaughter case, actually. We're seeing incredible interest in Asia because they're ahead of us in terms of the virus. And I expect the same to happen in the UK, albeit I think most businesses are in survival mode right now.
Yeah. Agree. We're going to talk a bit more to Sarah about HELIX and a bit more in depth about that. But we're going to get some of our regular features before that and just have a bit more of a laugh. We have got... I'm not saying that wasn't a laugh, by the way, so I just mean...
I didn't hear you laugh.
Sorry.
Actually, I didn't hear you
What we're
laugh.
about to do now is very stupid. So that's what I mean by that. A bit more of a stupidity. Steph, it's time for What Do You Call This?
What do you call this? Right, so we're going to get a picture up on the screen now.
There we go.
Bang, right. So we've got 4 different things going on here. Very British.
Yeah.
And basically what we want to know is what do you call each of these images?
Right, okay. And did you put this on the Manc Facebook?
Put it on the Manc, got a whopping 6.7k comments.
6,000
Everyone's having a debate.
people.
Really?
Yeah, everyone's having a big
So
debate.
is there a right answer and a wrong answer? Or
Not
most
really,
popular?
no.
There's some odd answers and there's some more normal
Would you like
answers.
me to read some out?
Yes, I'd love to read some.
Well, it might be
Well,
what the answer that we give.
Okay.
I'm competitive. I want to get the right answer.
What do you think
Okay.
number 1 is then, Sarah?
That's a remote.
It's got to be a remote.
It's got to be a remote.
What, are you shaking your head?
No,
He's shrugging
I'm
his
just
shoulders.
listening. Carry on.
I just listened. Number 2.
I played this game as a kid. I'm sure we called it Curb.
Kirby.
Kirby.
Kirby, that's
Yeah,
it. I played it.
Kirby.
Number 2 is Kirby. I played Kirby.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah,
Number 3.
I would call that. Well,
The slang term.
it would be a chewy.
Chewy.
I'd go Chuddy.
I'd go chuddy as well.
I'd say-
Chewy is another
I'd say
one.
chewy. I'm with
Chewy.
you on that, yeah.
Number 4.
Pump.
Yeah. Pump. What you
Dreaded school PE pump.
Yeah,
Go on, Tim.
Tim, what
Tell
do you
us.
Kung
think?
Fu trainers.
The Kung Fu
Nah,
trainers.
let's call them a pump.
A pump.
They're classic primary school pumps, those, aren't they?
Did you have another thing for number 1?
Control.
Remote.
Is it control?
Just the
Control.
remote.
That's a good one.
I know we had some interesting answers, though.
Did you really?
Yeah, some
Wow.
wild ones.
Read out the wildest.
Well, the wildest ones are coming in for the chewing gum. Well,
Oh, right,
chuddy,
okay.
sorry. And someone here called Leanne has commented that she called it spoggy.
Spoggy?
Spoggy
Okay.
doesn't sound
Spoggy?
appetite.
Well, it's-
Spoggy doesn't sound like it's going to be good for your breath,
What
does it?
Spoggy mean?
Here's a
That's mad.
spoggy.
It's
Apparently
a spoggy.
chuddy.
It's spoggy. No
A
way.
lot of people are saying what we've already said, remote control, Kirby,
Yeah.
chuddy. Someone's called a remote a flicker.
No, that's
Yeah,
not a bad one.
maybe.
I've heard of a flicker. Yeah.
That was Lauren.
Cheers, Lauren.
Everyone's calling the pumps pumps.
Pumps.
Someone's called them plimsolls here, I think, actually.
That's a very...
Plimsolls. Sand shoes,
formal.
Nicola calls them. Sand shoes.
Sand
When you-
shoes? What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Don't-
For when
ask
you're
me.
going running on the dunes.
You know, like you do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Quite often.
yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
next week's.
Ooh.
Like you do that in Manchester.
Yeah,
I'd go running on the tube.
down Whitby.
Jack has called it a laser remote TV zapper.
Oh, Jack's
Yeah.
wand was all
Yeah,
up here.
Jack's...
Number 2's Kirby though, isn't it?
That is definitely,
Definitely
Kirby.
Kirby.
No one
Didn't
else
quite a
name
few
it, man.
people call a remote control a doofer?
A doofer?
Yes.
A doofer?
Yes.
I
A
have
doofer.
heard that in
Have
other
you?
countries, though.
I've been
In
called
other
that
countries.
before.
Yeah.
By family members?
Not
Yeah,
surprised.
Pass-
By
passers by in the
relatives.
street.
Call you a doofer.
Yeah, doofer. Yeah.
So we'll do this more often. So if there's anything that caused controversy, it's on the Manc Facebook. 6,000 people arguing on this one. There'll be another one next week for us to chat about as well.
Do I get a prize?
Yeah. Well, you can maybe win.
You get a chewy.
You get a chewy or chuddy or whatever you think. Maybe you can win our next feature.
Okay.
This is designed by Tim himself, and I'll just hand it over to you, mate.
Yeah, it's time for Snack of the Week.
Bop, bop.
Snack of the Week.
Bop, bop.
Snack
we've
of the
got
week.
a graphic
Look
for
at
it.
Beautiful.
I've got to
Thanks,
say, we're in
guys.
Noron Audio in Trafford. They've sorted us all out. We're in a new location, and they've got graphics, and it's ace, and that's Snack of the Week.
Our new home.
Boom, boom.
So this is the segment where we each bring a snack, and you, Sarah, our
Okay.
guest, are going to decide who has got the best snack.
Did you make them yourself?
No, unfortunately
okay,
not.
okay.
Not at the moment. We can't share home-baked goods, but we've each brought one. Who would you like to go first?
Is it all three of you?
All three of us
Oh,
got a snack, and then
snack.
you've got to get.
Oh,
You're going to
right.
present
Okay.
Might as
them.
well. Can I just quickly go and grab mine? It's in that. It's in
Yeah,
that.
yeah, go for
Joe,
it.
you
It's not
slacking.
prepared, is it?
Jacket.
Well, I'll tell you what. Go on,
You go first.
Steph, you start.
Okay, Steph.
So my snack,
Do I have to eat it?
No,
No, you
no,
don't have to
no,
eat
no.
it. We can't
Can I
do that
eat
at the
it?
moment.
Oh, no. Right, okay.
my snack goes lovely with a cup of tea, cup of coffee. You know,
Oh.
when you want a sweet snack.
A sweet
Really
snack.
tingles the taste buds.
Tingles the taste.
Interesting.
So
What is
Fox's
it?
Golden
Ginger.
Crunch
Oh,
Creams.
Golden
Crunch.
Golden
Fox's
Crunch
Golden
Creams.
Yeah,
Crunch.
fair enough.
Crunchy.
They're pretty good.
They are delicious.
Pretty
them
good,
ones.
they are. Fantastic. I mean, the packaging itself, it's fun, it's quirky.
In terms of the
Right.
biscuit world, Sarah, you happy with that? Or
that
could it
up
be
there?
a better biscuit?
Don't like him, the
Doesn't look too
Yeah,
bad.
no, honestly, like it's a great biscuit. But my grandma used to be like a matron of old people's care homes,
Yeah.
and that was the biscuit that they got with
Oh.
tea.
The old
at 9
people's
PM,
choice.
So it was for me.
It's
That's
an
the
old
old
people's
Really?
Oh,
choice.
is it?
You're going to get one out
I'm bringing
for
it back to the young people.
Yeah, you got to try it. You got to try
Maybe
it.
you can make it trendy.
Revolutionise those creams.
Shall we go next?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, well, this
Save
is
the
a bit
best
of a
for
weird
last.
one. And it's
Okay.
because we're in lockdown, and I was thinking to myself, what snacks have I got in the house? And I didn't have many.
Yeah.
But I did have dry cereal.
Dry cereal.
So this is a snack.
It's lost already. This
Right.
guy.
What size
not
of dry
bad.
This is,
cereal is that? It
this
looks
is
like
crunchy
Frosties,
nuts.
actually.
This
Oh,
is
it
crunchy nuts.
nuts?
Delicious. You know, you're like, oh, I've got those snacks in. Stick your hand in the cereal thing.
Ironically, the colour of your shirt today is crunchy nut colour.
Dressed like a crunchy nut cornflake.
I'm getting honey. That's it, really.
Honey nuts.
I'm getting crunchy.
I'm getting crunchy. I'm getting honey. I'm getting
getting nut.
delicious snack.
You are bottom of the
Winner.
pile there.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Absolutely.
Crunchy nut dinner.
I really wish I'd not made those comments about your biscuits.
Tim, you're
So
up.
I think I've got everything right.
clearly
now
won.
On,
Are you-
on
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I don't think I'm ready.
Oh, I
It's
know
a-
what this is.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's
I just
Do you?
got to be
it.
the primo British sweet.
What?
Oh, we all got sweet.
It's Percy
Oh,
Pigs.
no, he's pulled out the Percy.
That's
Pigs.
it. I've got to have won. It's
He's
Percy
pulled out
Pigs.
the Percy
I've got
Pig.
the original veggie Percy. You know, you don't always need to consume the gelatin, do we? I mean, it's a bit ironic because it's a pig. But
Do we
it's
actually
got
like
the,
them? Are they all? They're all right, but they're not the best.
the Percy
I do
Pigs or the
like it.
veggie
They're
ones?
nice though. I mean, the Percy
Or
pig
if
in
they're
general. Do you like a
they're
Percy
a bit
pig?
cold.
Look, guys, I'm a CEO of a preventative health company. Like,
yeah,
I'm
that's true.
not
None of us-
going to promote.
None of us we should have brought somebody.
So actually, the interesting thing is, let me judge it based on which is the
Ooh.
healthiest.
Excuse me. Thank you.
I know, I'm gonna have to come in your direction.
Are you serious?
I'm going to. I haven't
Yeah,
got time
I
for
knew
it.
I'm a
it.
cereal boy,
I'm
though.
not saying it's healthy, but in comparison to what
Thank you very
Yeah,
much. My
exactly.
first snack of the
That's
week
fair
win.
enough.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
I was hoping to get third win.
Perfect. No, unfortunately, I've got a win. Tim, you've still not won yet, which is unfortunate for you. Maybe
Yeah.
next time. We'll maybe throw a Percy Pig later. Before we go on to talk about Helix, it's time to round up some of the biggest stories that have happened in Manchester this week. We all bring a story that we found on the Manc website.
Okay.
We just chat about it because we're a Manchester podcast.
Yeah.
Tim, do you want to go first because you
Yeah,
lost?
sure.
Oh, sorry, what did you say?
What? Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's fine by me. So my story is actually about a guy called Max who has opened up a Smiths-themed Indian street food restaurant.
Okay.
Oh,
It's called, you ready?
Yep.
This Charming Nan.
this charming man. Round of applause.
Yeah.
Yeah, round of applause for that
round of
name,
applause,
Max. Well done. So we actually went and visited it the other day.
Yeah.
And the video is coming out today. The food was amazing. They had all sorts of
Takeaway.
It's we did click and collect. It's in Retro Bar in town. He's renting the kitchen out there. All sorts of interesting, you can get a curry. They do like a madras pie and kind of masala mash.
It's all vegetable
I think it
based,
was. Sorry, I forgot that wrong. Yeah, it's a vegan place, but you're not going to miss your meat if you go there. They had like modern sort of modern takes on Indian street food. It was absolutely amazing. But they've got hang on, let me get some of the other names up because they were amazing.
Girlfriend in a Korma.
Yeah, that was it.
I've
lost the page.
How amazing that during these times, when we're seeing a lot of doom and gloom, that people are pushing through the boundaries and doing some,
that's it.
and
we tried
launching businesses. That's inspiring for anybody.
Do you know what I've seen as well is like when people do launch businesses or like other businesses are just saying, could do with a bit more custom or whatever, and we put stuff on the Manc. The people of Manchester are always going to support them.
I know.
And like 100%. Getting behind them.
The resilience is
it's just
unbelievable. Support
it's class, that, isn't it?
100%. Oh, nothing. I was just going to read out some of the other menu items. Yeah, this charming nan is the nan, obviously. Girlfriend in a korma.
Yeah.
Heaven knows I'm masala now.
Great.
Oh, no.
Love will tear us patia. Madras is murder. What else have we got? 24-hour pie people.
Oh.
So like 24-hour party people.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's about it. Oh, one last one. Last night, I dreamt that some bargee loved me.
Class one.
So that's everything from
played.
me.
Very well played.
Yeah, that's cool.
Steph, what is your story of the week?
So mine's another feel-good one. I don't know if you know about the Cat Cafe in Northern Quarter.
Was closing.
It was closing,
I saw that.
But a frequent visitor called Lindsay set up a GoFundMe page, raised enough money to keep it open and prevent permanent closure.
Yes.
Which left us all feline good.
Very positive. yeah. Shout out to Lindsay. Well done.
Right, so it's saved. The Cat Cafe is saved.
It's saved.
It's saved.
All
The cats are all
cats are
happy.
saved.
I've never been to the Cat Cafe.
Oh, you'd love it.
I've not either,
we
but I
should
really
do a
want to.
podcast inside the Cat Cafe one day.
Love a good cat.
Pardon? Anything more on that?
No.
Was it just a statement?
Old statement.
Love a good cat. So it's saved. So hopefully when lockdown's over, we can also go to the Cat Cafe.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine's another positive story because
Good.
I'm just feeding the positivity.
Yeah.
Do you like Nerf guns?
Yes.
You ever played with them?
Not every day.
I can't be trusted.
So the people behind Nerf guns, people behind a lot of toys. Hasbro, they are opening a brand new Nerf gun battle centre next to the Trafford Centre. It's going to cost them £5 million. It's going to be state of the art, and it's going to be a place where you can go and battle your Nerf guns. And I've looked at some of the photos. Unfortunately, it's a lot of kids inside the photos where I think adults should be allowed in now and again.
They have to have an adults night sort of thing,
an adults night. Get your Nerf gun.
I'm going in with a bandolier.
Pardon?
I'm going in with a bandolier.
And just
a Nerf grenade.
Lots of kids crying, Tim's here again.
Get arrested.
Safety hazard.
So that's being worked on right now, and in 2021, hopefully later on in the year, it should be opened. It's another new venture, and it's another thing to do with the family, so we're excited for that.
Yeah.
So we could all have a day out. We go to the Cat Cafe for a bit of something.
Yes.
Then we go and battle Nerf guns.
Yeah.
And then we finish off with a delicious curry.
From
That sounds like
this charming love.
Oh, he's singing again. Oh, that's not so good. So they have been our Manc Stories of the Week, and they are on the Manc website. Go and check it out, and go and give the Manc Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, etc. all a follow. And when you do go on the Manc website, like I'm on now, you'll see a little advert for HELIX. See how I brought that back in?
Yeah.
Good, that.
Pro, aren't I?
Very smooth.
Talented.
Wow.
Well done, Joe.
Okay. And HELIX says, secure your business with us. Do you want me to read out the full? No, I'll let you do it. So, explain
I have
HELIX.
no intention of reading out the full description.
It is. It's wonderful. I'm on the website right now, but I thought maybe you would be
Yeah,
better.
I think probably. I'm not going to sit here and describe HELIX, but let me take an example of a UK company that we helped this week, and lots of businesses are closed, but when they reopen, what are the challenges that they're facing? So we had a construction company this week that was in crisis because people have come down with COVID and they don't know how to manage that. Everybody, they're falling. Who did they come into contact with? How long are they in isolation? How do we actually build rotors and systems? And in its simplest form, that's what HELIX does. It's an app on your phone for the employee, and the employer has a dashboard. And it's communication between the employee and the employer. The infrastructure has been built so that the employee can track isolation periods, can build rotas, knowing, in some cases you could have a whole department or a whole shift that's in isolation. So you put that on a big scale, 100 employees, 1,000, 10,000, like we're working on in the US right now. It is a tool to manage. From a safety perspective, it allows the employees to feel that they're cared for. This functionality to upload test results, to record vaccinations. At some point, we hope there'll be scientific evidence that if you have been vaccinated, you don't carry the virus. That's not there right now. But when that point comes, you then have to manage your staff of who's been vaccinated, who hasn't been vaccinated, who should isolate, who shouldn't isolate. My focus, I'm a great believer in, I will change people's lives. That is going to happen. But I'm also a believer in fixing problems that exist in the world today. And one of the things that was very, very prevalent here is when things started to reopen, some were closing before they'd even opened because they couldn't manage the virus in a workplace. And quite simply, that's what HELIIX does.
Amazing.
Wow. And that is just a very simple way of getting on board as well. So if someone's listening to us now and as a business, how easy is it to just to use HELIIX?
Everybody's using Zoom right now. Most people are. It's as simple as that. You go to the website, you subscribe. All the risk profiling software is free for any business in the world. There is a professional functionality which you can pay for, but even then it's just over £1 per employee. Just like everything, I want to make accessible for every company, whether they're a large corporate and cash rich or they are really, really struggling right now, a tool to help them through, and that's what HELIIX is. And and it's working in other places around the world. I want it to work in my own country, and I want to see businesses reopen and reopen safely. So let's hope that happens.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And you'll be able to see HELIIX all around the Manc stuff, and there should be links in the descriptions as well to this video. Go and check in, go and have a look if it interests your business, and it will do, and go and get involved in that. With is all the doctors still part of REVIV, the original doctors?
Actually, no.
So is it all kind of moved about?
Yeah, it has moved about. We've got 758 doctors and nurses across the world now. That we actually let go of 2 of the original founders that found it hard actually to lose control to me, I guess. But the original founder, is still very much part of the business, and we've become great friends also. So
what I was going to say is, I was going to bring up the 2021 and when you might have sat down with them and had a look at this year. I mean, what are your sort of ambitions or what?
It's a crazy year. I mean, it's a crazy year for everybody, and I have equal feelings, and we do as a board, of excitement because we can genuinely make a difference. And concern. I think that, when you are in 45 countries, things are going well in some countries, things are catastrophic in other countries. But, everything that I've learned through my entire career and every success we've had is by sticking to the plan. Yeah, you have a plan, you stick to the plan. And whilst thousands of opportunities have presented themselves to me during this period, of course they're going to. We're a preventative health company during a health pandemic. We stick to the plan, and we'll continue to develop our technologies. We'll continue to open clinics across the world. And we'll continue to be the company that supports people in the journey. And, I just really hope that, if I could have one hope, it is that, of all the tragedy of this pandemic, people will take some responsibility for their own health.
Yeah. I suppose then, looking at REVIV, so the HELIIX, there is a place in Manchester.
Yes, there is.
Which obviously you've been, and Knutsford is the one in Knutsford as well?
There is, and that was a pilot when we very first opened the brand. It's interesting. All of our shareholders and investors, when I said I wanted to place a flagship clinic in Manchester, were like, where or why? When you have investment capital and you decide where to spend that capital, everybody wanted to see flagship locations in the metropolis cities in the world. And I wanted to see one in this city. Not because it was my city, because I believed it had and ticked all the boxes for what a successful clinic would look like. Every clinic we open costs between £250,000 and £500,000 as an investment. So I really, really pushed through and said, we are doing Manchester. And, you know, that was a risk. It's the third busiest clinic in the world.
Oh, it's amazing.
So
that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy days. And I've seen it's very simple to, if you were to decide that, heard about Steph and your words today. I've been on the REVIV website and it's dead easy to learn about it a bit more, and you get a selection of different drips that you might have and different ways it might help you or change you. And I think, you know, looking in 2021 to make things up a bit, you've got Steph here, got the Mega Boost. I was very happy.
Mega boosted?
Did you get Mega Boosted too?
I didn't get Mega Boosted. Gaz did it.
Would you get Mega Boosted?
I'd get Mega Boosted, of course. I need it.
We'd all get
I'm
Mega
tired.
Boost. Did you get a Mega Boost recently? Have you had a Mega Boost?
I get a Mega Boost probably every 2 to 3 weeks.
Really?
And it's interesting because that's our most popular treatment across the world.
Yeah.
We've just opened a clinic in Ghana. It's our most popular treatment in Ghana. We have 3 in Las Vegas. It's the most popular in Las Vegas. And it is, you know, across the world. But the interesting thing is that's the reason why people walk through the door of REVIV. The reason they stay with us is very different. Of course, they get the benefit of the IVs, but just like here in Manchester, you know, we do people's genetics, we do blood testing, we do vaccinations. We take them on an entire journey. And I think once they start that journey, you know, IV therapy is a real part of it, but the making a switch. When you walk in a clinic and you want to spend money, you've made the decision you're going to change your life. Yeah. And, you know, there's lots of other ways that we can support people doing that.
Nice. Amazing.
Yeah.
We'll have a
so when are
little...
you going to walk through the door?
I'll walk through the door. Me and Tim will go walk through the door, get a Mega Boost.
Yeah, after the amount of takeaways we've been filming, I think we need a Mega Boost.
We'll get a Mega Boost. And we can put it on the podcast so we can tell people about it in the next one. Do you remember the Sarah episode?
We won't be able to sit down.
We've done it. Why? Because you'd be so...
You need our doctor, actually. You need our head of genetics, Dr. Barnish, to dissect what you've been eating over the last month and to tell you what that actually means. That's what you need.
I'm pretty healthy in the week, but then it's the takeaways that we're filming.
What's pretty healthy? What's the definition of pretty healthy?
Like, you're getting in trouble. This reminds me of primary school when I used
No, like...
what is the definition? Like, what's a healthy meal?
Like enough fruit and veg, bit of salmon.
You do that? Okay.
Proper,
that's really
like
good.
make a stir fry, but use courgette instead of noodles, or...
That's impressive.
A lovely piece of salmon, if you will.
Is he telling the truth?
No.
I am telling the truth. That's what I eat in the week.
Well,
and then I go and eat 3 people's worth of curry.
Anyway, we've got to move on because I don't have time to answer that question. Right, it's time for Mastermind.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. So, with our lovely Manchester guest, we asked them a couple of questions about the city. Dead easy. And you've also got 2 lovely phone a friend guests you can use at any time. Okay.
How many questions is it?
It's 5. 5 questions. Very simple about Manchester. The first one is about...
Is it multiple choice?
No. But the first one, let me say...
I'll take the first one. If you kick
first
off
question
about it.
on Mastermind. So, Coronation Street.
Oh, no.
Can you please tell me the decade it started? So, what decade did it start? Coronation Street.
Flipping heck.
Come on, you can do it. Come on. It was a big birthday recently, and if you remember the big birthday, you can work backwards. Surely.
Okay, so
what? Do you remember the birthday?
I think I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, then I'm gonna have to phone my friend.
You got to pick your phone up then.
All right.
Well,
Hello.
Hello.
I'm just on Mastermind, and I've had a question, which is which century did Coronation Street commence?
Are you sure it wasn't which decade?
Oh, decade, sorry.
Which century?
Yeah,
17th.
sorry. 17th century.
Which decade?
Oh, no.
Is it? Wait.
Oh, no.
Hang on, I'm doing maths.
I'm
doing maths.
Right, work out loud.
Is it 1940?
You think straight after the war, they went, do you know what we need? Coronation Street.
Hot.
Is that what you said?
You are the worst phone friend.
It celebrated its 60th birthday this
I
year.
thought it was 75th.
No. That would mean 1945 they started Coronation Street. I think they were busy.
I did the math.
But you actually said you knew it before I phoned you.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's questionable.
Which local borough is well known for its black pudding?
Bury.
Bury is correct.
Well done.
Nailed it.
There we go. Now, can you tell me which famous hotel, city centre hotel, Charles Rolls met Henry Royce? Right? Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
I nearly got so confused then. But what famous city centre hotel did they meet in? Still going today.
Still going today.
Still going
Well,
today.
if it's still going today, that means it's a really old hotel. So, oh gosh, I don't know.
Do you know it?
No, I don't know. I've got a guess.
I've got a good guess.
I've got a good guess.
Right, if you want to phone Tim again, you can.
I wouldn't if I was you, but
Don't do
I
it.
don't know. I think it's a really old hotel.
I think you're thinking of the same one as me.
Go on,
think you're thinking-
Go on, you go
I
for it,
think you're
Sarah.
thinking the same as me. I don't know actually.
I don't know. I'm going to phone a friend, but I'm not phoning.
No, don't ask me.
Oh, I thought you knew. You don't know.
She doesn't
Okay.
know.
Go on. Can I don't have to take her answer.
No, you
right?
don't. You
Okay,
don't
so,
have to.
so
Oh,
What is
yeah.
it? What is it?
I'm gonna guess the Midland.
You can take the Midland.
I was going to take the middle.
Yeah, you can take the Midland because it's correct.
Yeah!
That's what I was going to say as well.
We're gonna- oh yeah,
that
you
was a
were
good
going to
guess.
say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen around this is an easy one. Seen around the city bins. It's everywhere basically. But what is the animal symbol of Manchester?
It's the bee.
It is the bee. Now here's one I didn't know, and it's another borough question. But the final one today is in which local borough are famous for producing Uncle Joe's mint balls?
What?
Have you ever seen Uncle Joe's mint balls?
Yeah, but
But it started in a Manchester borough, Great Manchester borough. Let me get Uncle Joe's mint balls up for you. I didn't know they were a thing.
Where's Uncle Joe
You've seen
from?
these? Oh, I've got an Asda website up by accident. Right, Uncle Joe.
Are they like mentally ones?
Have you got any
Yeah, kind of
ideas?
mentally ones. Do you have any idea where these started from? Uncle Joe's mint balls. You've seen the packaging,
Yeah, I've
haven't you?
seen the packaging.
I thought they were
on that.
American.
Greater
because-
Manchester
I
borough.
thought it was
Oh,
American.
Yeah.
Right, so take Bury out of the equation. It's not city centre Manchester either, so take that out. It's cat. It's in black up that way.
Up that way.
Near Bury way.
Oh,
Not Bury.
It's hard. Yeah, I was thinking Rochdale-ish.
What about one beginning with a W?
Wigan.
Wigan. Are you going to go with Wigan as your final
I'm
answer?
gonna go with
For
Wigan.
4 out of 5. Wigan, ladies and gentlemen. Sarah
Smashed
with
it.
the highest score so far.
Oh,
Wigan's is the home of Uncle Joe's mint balls. And,
Actually, you learn something new every day.
It's all about
I did
education.
not know that.
yeah, so we're
So I'll leave here.
educated.
You'll pass that one
Educated.
We're
on,
all
won't you?
educated.
Yeah.
You've educated us, and we've educated you on Uncle Joe's mint balls. We're coming to the end of the podcast. It's been a pleasure to speak with you, Sarah.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate to everyone, just to go and do some Googling, go on in the comment section or in the descriptions. You'll have so many links to what Sarah's been talking about. And yeah, thank you very much for
Thanks,
coming
guys.
on.
I've learned so much today.
So
Like, it's been great.
we're at
Thank
the end
you.
of the party.
And I had fun.
Taxis
That's
are
amazing.
outside.
Yeah.
Your Uber's nearly here.
As soon as I finish my drink.
Do you want us to? Yeah, we're all necking our drinks. It's been a great night, Sarah. How do we all say goodbye? Do we just go bye, Sarah?
Have a
Bye,
good
Sarah.
one.
Have a good one, Sarah. Bye, Sarah.
See ya.
Do
got-
it. Do it.
It's got to be some sort of socially distanced dance, hasn't
yeah.
it?
You go first, Tim.
Oh no.
Just go for
This
it.
is for the audio listeners. Tim's up, and he is wow. Okay, I'm going to finish this podcast right now because it's gone too
That's
far.
enough, yeah.
Steph, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Tim, you've been a legend.
Thank you.
Dance was wild. Sarah, pleasure to have you all. What a
Thank you.
guest.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Round of
Had a great
applause
time.
for everyone. We've been the Manc Podcast. I've been Joe, and we'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.